Hi everyone, I'm Arman Harutyunyan. I'm an English and Communications major student at the American University of Armenia. And this semester I've taken the course called Genetics, taught by Professor Gregory Shahrosian. And I have this research question to explore how communication professionals can help bridge the gap between scientists and the general public. And I've chosen a few tools that can be used for this issue. First of all, we can translate complex genetic jargon into everyday concepts. So scientists might have used very technical words, technical vocabulary to explain their ideas and new findings. But most of the general public has no access of such vocabulary at first, and this kind of complex vocabulary can scare them away. For example, there is a solution for this that a communication specialist can use. It's making the concept closer to everyday life. For example, when we explain the gene editing and genetic mutation, instead of using abstract words like nucleotides, double helix, and base pair insertions, we can use more common words. For example, we can explain as a genome as a recipe book containing instructions for building everything in the body, or a gene as a single receipt within the book, or the genetic mutation as a typo or a missing word in the recipe that changes how the dish turns out. This tool can help the public to access to the information provided by the scientist more easily. A second tool that I would suggest is publishing articles of how the new genetic discovery can be used in everyday life. Actually, we have this kind of publications. For example, we can take the example of Gregor Mendel as the writers or the publishers have put him as established that he was a monk, and he found out about genetics during doing agriculture. We can also use this trace to make it more accessible to the general public. For example, we can start as a hook, like how can you use genetics to make your fruit grow more healthy and stable, instead of this example is also linking to the first example as I brought about making the vocabulary simple. So we don't use that you can take out some genes, but we can use the specific example of the fruits. Like, for example, if you want your fruit to be more red, you take one gene from the red one and put it in others, and this way your growth becomes more stable, and you get the result you want by using genetic knowledge. And the third tool that a communication specialist can use is making the new scientist more credible and recognizable by the public. This is more a PR job. Actually, we have this issue in the world that scientists are always people who are doing the core work, but they are not recognized by the public. Instead of them, all the credit goes to the CEOs and the managers. So for solving this issue, a communication specialist can help the scientist to improve its public image. For example, by improving its public speaking skills. And instead of inviting a manager or a public speaker for establishing the new findings, we can help the scientist to show up in front of the public himself or herself and tell us about his findings. In this way, we can know directly who is behind the core work that has been done. So here were three tools that discovery to make the public closer to the scientists. For example, by translating complex genetic jargon into everyday concepts and publishing articles of how can this new discovery be used in everyday life, and making the scientist credible and recognized by the public directly instead of a third party. Thank you.